Good morning. Good morning. My name is Joe Bandel, and I am the last Rosicrucian. Today we're going to talk about 4th century Incubus and Succubus experiences. Now, the common ignorant peasant with roots in organic Gnosticism, with roots in the pagan religions, we're in a battle against the anti-life religion of the literate elites. Uh, let's face it, the common people enjoyed the earth. They had strong genetic roots to Gaia and all living things. And the literate elite didn't. They were really living in their heads. Magic was outlawed in the 4th century. Uh, Philosophers were driven out. Books were burned. Original thought was no longer allowed. The church had determined in the Council of Nicaea which gospels were to represent Christianity, and there wasn't anything else. That was what was to be taught. That was the truth. Everything else was satanic, was a lie. Uh, and the church created its own form of magic through ceremony, through the ritual of Mass, baptism, marriage. Holy water was used to drive out Satan. But it didn't matter what they tried because sexuality is a part of the human condition. And this movement of organic Gnosticism that was spreading all over the area in the Near East was going into the church too. Satan was everywhere. As sexuality was repressed, excessive masturbation led to attacks by incubus and succubus. The repressed sexual energies activated and brought out psychotic episodes. These psychotic episodes were called demonic possession. It was things inside them that were erupting. The Messalinian sect beat themselves trying to drive Satan out of their souls, out of their bodies, out of their physical bodies. Exorcism became commonplace. The church desperately tried to kill the human passions because they were demonic. Sins were everywhere. Eternal damnation was everywhere. There was no hope. I mean, it was just too much. Well, what was really happening at this point? This is kind of like the official thing, but what was really happening? What was happening was these monks in their monasteries and these nuns were using autoerotic practices and working with sex energy, with sexual energy through masturbation, even if they didn't know what it was. And that was building a pressure inside because sexual energy is the most powerful energy there is, and it will cause repressed emotions, repressed wounds. to flare up. That's an important part of the healing process. So what was happening was the shadow side, the hidden things were being explosively brought out into the open. And those were the things that frightened people. Those were the things that were considered satanic and demonic. Now, what is an incubus or a succubus? All they are is they are personality fragments of real people that are activated through sexual activity, especially autoerotic sexual activity. And they will go out at night in your dreams and find a compatible opposite sex energy to merge with, because that's what sexuality is about. It's the merging of male and female energies. But the key to the incubus and the succubus is that they act on the unconscious side. They act on the repressed side. They never represent awareness, conscious awareness. What they represent is the dark side, the hidden side of who you are. And the more you repress and the more distorted your beliefs are, the more distorted your dark side is. So these episodes, these experiences, these sexual experiences of incubus or succubus attacks were really expressions of distortions. They were distortions of their own repressions mingled with the distorted repressions of somebody else whose energy was attracted to them. And this is what made it so frightening. This is what made it so demonic, because it was the distortions, the horrible distortions that made these things so horrifying. And people were caught in this loop. The more they practiced repressed sexual energy, the stronger these psychotic experiences, these attacks became, because they were generating more and more and more energy, and they were caught in a loop. They were sexual addicts, if you will, and they were not doing it in a healthy way. But what happens is, working with sexual energy, whether you're doing it with a partner or whether you're doing it autoerotically, ultimately heals, because it is opening up repressions. It's letting it out. And whether by letting it out, that's a healthy thing, because it's no longer stuck inside. So in its blind way, the church, through the repression of sexuality, was actually forcing, unconsciously, in a subconscious way, it was forcing sexuality into the dark side, into the shadow, and activating the shadow. There is no such thing as demons and incubus and succubus. They're all part of real people. They're part of us. They're part of who we are inside. But these parts are things that we don't allow, that we don't recognize, that we don't admit, that we do not integrate. And that's an important part of what healthy mental and emotional well-being is to accept and integrate human sexuality and true human experiences. This was not happening because of the distorted belief systems. Now, in some of the other religions that were also experiencing organic Gnosticism and dealing, like the Buddhists who were developing the thunderbolt body or the diamond body, the etheric body, or the martial arts that were dealing with the development of the excuse me, immortal physical body. They were doing it in a more balanced way because their distortions were not as severe. So when you have an erotic dream and you're in a sexual encounter in your dream with somebody else, that person is not aware of it, because what's coming to you is a part of their energy, but it's coming from that blind side, from their side that they're not aware of. And the part of you that goes out to other people in the same way does the same thing. We're not consciously aware of these things, but they are parts of us. It's a fascinating topic that I may have to clarify a little more. I don't have time today. We're run out of time, but I think I gave this a good try. We're talking about the difference between healthy sexuality and the distortions of the early church and the origins of Satanism. Visit my website. There's a link below. Donate if you can. Everything's welcome. Try to share this video with others and subscribe. Have a good day.